afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
First time since 2019.
Nice.
And I want to congratulate you, and I want to congratulate most of the city on the New York Knicks making the playoffs. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations.
Yeah, so the Knicks clinched by virtue of the Celtics loss last night. Listen, they were getting in anyway, but it is official now. And with that, Julius Randle gets $1 million bonus for the Knicks making the playoffs. Well deserved. He's the main reason why.
Sure.
So all good there.
Congrats.
Couple games left, though. Couple games left.
You have to understand, I think you do. This is one of the great New York sports accomplishments we've seen in a while. This was a team that was supposed to suck. They were supposed to be the worst team in the league, and they defied all expectations. So I know that, you knew this was going to happen. I get all that, but it's a great accomplishment. You should be very proud.
You know, it's funny. When the Knicks got in, I got the alert that the Celtics lost last night. I did not watch the Celtics game.
They suck.
Yeah, all good.
Kevin Love for 3.
You know, it's really strange. Here's what, because and in a weird way, I got the new notification, and I immediately thought about the New York Giants. Mm-hmm. And here's why. We are celebrating the Knicks getting into the playoffs, and we should.
Yes.
It's a great accomplishment for a team that, to be fair, we were hoping would be competitive this year. We didn't know the Knicks were going to be this good. We didn't know the Knicks were going to be a legitimate playoff team as opposed to the play-in tournament. We didn't. So we feel really, really good about it. And the reason the New York Giants came to my mind is because how far a lot of us have been forced to lower our standards as to what makes us happy. Mm-hmm. All right? New York Knicks, there was a day in my lifetime when getting into the playoffs would be like, and who we playing?
Right.
What's next? Like, that's not acceptable. That's not our end all. There was a moment for New York Giant fans where being 6-10 would have been met with riding at the gates. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking about that last night, where we have been, and listen, you're different because you're on the flip side as a Net fan. You can get it as a Met fan, but not yet for this year. So you're on the flip side for your basketball team, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, that we've been beaten down for so long by the majority of our teams that we now celebrate things that in reality we shouldn't have to celebrate. And that is the Knicks getting into the playoffs.
I got to tell you.
The Giants merely having, they have a competent coach. Let's celebrate 6-10. Yuck.
No, I have to tell you, with all due respect.
Please, sir, go ahead.
You're very, very, very wrong in this case.
Well,
you really
tell me why your
I'm
opinion is different than mine.
I love how you phrase that.
Yes.
I'll tell you why my opinion is different.
I'd like to hear.
The New York Knicks are not the equivalent of 6-10.
No, I agree.
They are 7 games above 500. And for a lot of people listening right now who are under the age of 35, you made a reference. They have no idea what you mean. And that is making the playoffs every year.
Which was something that we came to expect.
Okay, and I remember it, but I was young. A lot of people, if you are 35 or under, have no idea what that means. That's called the 90s. The 90s were a long time ago. So for many Knicks fans, it's about the lottery and tanking. And yeah, they had a nice run when they made the playoffs in 11-12, but especially 2013. Okay? But for this team, who has been so bad for a long time, to not just sneak in. It's not like they're 2 games under and they're in the play-in tournament.
They earn their way in.
Dude, they have a chance to be a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. They have a chance to host and have home court advantage in the first round of the NBA playoffs. I really think, and I'm saying this, trying to be fair to everything I've witnessed over the last 20 years in New York sports, I think it's one of the great accomplishments we've seen from a New York sports team. And to minimize it by saying, well, this is our bar now, making the playoffs, that's not fair to what the Knicks accomplished.
No, I know. It's not, but what they've done to us for the last 20 years is not fair either. Like, I want more. I don't want to settle for the foul. I don't want to, go out. 2 weeks from now, I don't want to be out with my buddies drinking a beer going, oh, how great was it? We made the playoffs.
I agree.
And we got swept. Or whatever the case may be.
I think that part I'm with you on. But I said something to you in December, and I want to repeat this line to you because you understood what I meant. We were talking about the Knicks going after Russell Westbrook, and I said, Craig, before you run, you got to get up and you got to walk, and then you got to jog, and then you can sprint. okay?
Yes.
You skipped a couple of steps, bro.
Yes.
You're not walking, you're jogging. Now,
Ooh,
are you
yeah.
a championship contender? No, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that you are.
I'm not going to say that we are either.
But you are far better than I think any of us could have imagined. You are a threat to win a round. And so I get it. I'm with you. I am the type of fan, and I've shown this before with the teams I root for, that once I'm there, I want to win. I don't go there just to be there. I want to win. I was your team a few years ago. The Nets were a 6 seed in 2019, and when I got there, I wanted to win. But I think you've got to appreciate this journey.
I do, and I'm going to compartmentalize however the playoffs end, as short of a championship, of course, with the fact that the New York Knicks are back to being respectable,
Yes.
competent, which is why I thought of the Giants. Now, it's different. The Giants didn't make the playoffs. They didn't deserve to
And
make
they were
the
under
playoffs.
500.
And they're under 500. But the end result from a fan standpoint really is the same. We are celebrating competency.
Yes.
And maybe that's a good thing. I told you, Evan, I'm a good mood Craigie now. I'm Mr. Positive. So, yes, I am celebrating the fact that my favorite basketball team has made the playoffs. And, yes, I will be upset if and when we get eliminated from the playoffs.
As you should, yeah.
I'm not going to be critical of the franchise. I will criticize the cause
How
or
you
reason
lost,
for the
of
loss.
course. I absolutely.
Which is a lot different. We've spent a long time criticizing the franchise. We will be critical of how they lose.
Correct.
Yes, but we will not be critical of the franchise. New York Giant fans, we're not critical of the franchise. They're upset by losing a game against Philly, losing a game here, obviously, as we went through the season last year, but they're not critical today of the franchise. And that's where we are right now for the Giants and the Knicks. So listen, it's all good, man. The New York Knicks are in the playoffs, baby. And I love it. I love it.
You should love
and
it.
I don't want anyone of you foul-mouthed basketball, Johnny-come-latelys talking about, well, they didn't earn their way in. They earned their way
That's stupid.
in.
Anyone who says that is making a very dumb point. They're 38-31. There is not a Knick fan in America, I don't care how much of a pom-pom waver you are, who saw this coming. This is one of the great New York sports surprises we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm the first one to admit it.
You know what it's like? It's like celebrating Easter when we did.
Yes.
And then recognizing, well, there's a Greek Easter,
No.
and we get to celebrate it again.
Not at
and then
all.
learning that there's a Yugoslavian Easter and celebrating again.
Right.
You get
right.
3 Easters. Yeah.
I don't think that comparison works at all.
That's how I view it. I get to celebrate. It's almost like when you're a kid. Today's my half birthday.
Right.
And you get like
I
a little,
still do that.
Maybe you get a little special devil dog dessert.
Yes.
Hey, it's your half birthday, Johnny. Mommy got you devil dogs, which are always the driest and worst of all the after school snacks. Like the devil dog made no sense.
Devil dog was brutal.
The ring ding, fantastic. The ho ho, fantastic. The yodel, fantastic. The Twinkie, fantastic.
Hate the Twinkie.
Even the Chocodile, fantastic. The dry chocolate devil dog, no, never made
I
any
had a
sense.
traumatic incident with a Twinkie. My sister shoved it in my nose, and it got so stuck up my nostrils that I smelled Twinkies for days.
Oh,
and it killed me.
That's a negative?
Killed me. I can't have a Twinkie ever since. I have been anti-Twinkie since I was 6.
Well, the Twinkie, they went out of business. They got resuscitated.
Yeah.
They got brought back.
Great.
Yeah, what's funny, I'm in a big fight right now with combos.
Why you get into a fight with combos?
Yeah, well, combos, I stopped following combos because they allowed themselves to get refrigerated.
Which I love.
In our vending machine.
Yeah, I think that's great.
But it congeals the inside, which is no good for me.
It actually tastes better, but okay.
So combo, I said, I hate to do this, but I must. And I stopped following them. And they said to me, well, if you hate it, why do it? And I wrote back, you little vixen, I can't help myself. I'm going to come back to your sexy baked goodness.
You were having an open flirtation with combos. In fact,
I'm in a lover's quarrel right now with combos.
It almost sounds like combos interacted with you the way you interact with trolls sometimes on Twitter.
Yeah,
where
you're
you're
right.
like, really, if you hate me so much, why are you tweeting us? Why are you listening? What's going on?
That's a very good
That's
point.
what combos did to you. Combos Carton to Carton.
I don't deny it. I'm in a lover's quarrel right now with combos. You sexy baked goodness. Yeah, I'm going to refollow you. I know I am. I can't help myself. It's going to happen. Last night, the New York Yankees. It's weird when a 1-0 game is fun to watch. And it was fun to watch. Gerrit Cole was just a beast last night. I love the fact that they were to have that open conversation in the dugout about whether or not he should pitch the 8th inning. And then he did something I've never seen before.
What's that?
And I'm not sure if anyone else picked up on it.
What's that?
Obviously, the Yankees get the win. Aroldis is ridiculous right now. He's the best relief pitcher in baseball.
Oh, he is
That's
so
not even
locked
close.
in. It's ridiculous.
And, the Yankees can win games that way. The Yankees have shown you a couple different personalities in the last week. Small ball wins, big ball wins, whatever. They're showing you that they're not just one type of team.
Right.
And Aaron Hicks gets the sac fly.
Think about that. The Yankees won a game in which their only run was a sac fly. It took them like 20 games to start the season before they even got a sacrifice fly. And that was their one run in a victory.
I was yelling at the TV when they held him up at third base again last night, going, send him, send him. Oh, come on, we're not going to send him. And then, they got the run. But Gerrit Cole did something last night that I've never seen before.
What's that?
So he comes out after 8, and he strikes out the side, by the way.
Yeah, struck out the last 3 guys he faced.
And it was nothing but just gas, right? He strikes out the side, pure gas. It's awesome. Everyone's loving it. Aroldis does the same thing, blah, 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 right? And then you see the stat where he's got like 59 strikeouts and no walks.
It's incredible. He's on one of these rampages that you never see.
Hasn't walked the guy in over a month now, since like April 12th or something, which is stupid, right? So he's all done. He's in the dugout, and the Yankees are now about to bat, in the top of the 9th.
Yep.
And they got a camera on Gerrit Cole, because Aroldis is coming in. Gerrit Cole put tobacco in his mouth after his night was over. I've never seen that. Like, normally guys put in the chew, before, during, and it's like part of their OCD, kind of behavior while they're totally locked into the zone. That's part of it, right? So Gerrit Cole is all done. He puts the jacket on, and he goes to the chew. I've never seen that before.
You know what I thought of? Tell me if this analogy works. And I don't
know
want to.
I picked up on it. It's just strange to me.
I don't want to shock jock you, but let's be honest. What do you do after great sex? You have a cigarette.
I've never once had a cigarette after sex.
You may not, I may not.
I don't understand the concept of it.
You would admit that there are men and women who, after just a great sexual session, will have a cigarette. Do you admit that?
I'm aware of that cliche, yes.
Gerrit Cole for 8 innings was basically doing that.
So it was like a tantric experience for him?
The guy dominated in such an incredibly awesome way, especially to close the game. He finishes off the game, 8 innings, 12 strikeouts, no walks. Maybe the chew was simply a...
You think so?
That felt good. Does that make sense? Do you buy that
now
at
that
all?
you say it, I guess.
See, you had to stick with me.
I never had a cigarette after sex.
Never? Not once?
Never. I never smoked a cigarette in my life.
I'm with you. Neither have I, which is odd that I brought up the analogy, but I've seen it. I've watched movies, I've seen TV shows, and I've had women who said, wow, that was great, I'm going to go have a cigarette. So I've experienced it.
You actually made love to a woman who afterwards said, that was great, Evan, I'm going to have a cigarette now?
Yeah, that's true.
Come on, for real?
Only once.
My man.
Damn right.
But that really happened?
Yes.
Like, woo!
Yeah. One
You're
time.
the man.
Yeah.
Let me get my Marlboros.
Yes. It was actually, I got to admit, kind of disgusting, though, because who the hell wants to smell the smoke afterwards? But that's what I think Gerrit Cole did, because think about what he did for 8 innings. He made love. And you loved it, Yankee fans.
It was great.
You witnessed everything you fantasized about when the Yankees gave him over $300 million. He is a dominant ace. And, because I want to be fair, because I know there are probably a few people thinking this. Yes, I did think it going into the 9th inning. And by it, I mean, can you let him finish the job?
Nah, not at that point, did you?
No, I wasn't
You
mad.
thought it after 7 for sure. We all did.
Well, I thought it after 7, yes.
Yeah.
But after 8, here's what I said to myself. And I'm not criticizing Aaron Boone. I'm not. I said, wow, it's only 107, 108 pitches. He just struck out the side. I know I got to roll this Chapman, but why not? So I was all for it because I love seeing a pitcher go 9.
Sure.
Would have he been able to get the last 3 outs, Craig?
I mean, the way he was pitching, I would say yes.
Okay. Is 115, 120 pitches that crazy?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But, listen, they won the game.
I'm not criticizing Aaron Boone. I want to make this clear. I'm just pointing out that I am consistent with the idea of when I have an ace, when I have someone dominating, why not go all the way? Now, what makes it easier is I've got Chapman. And you just said it, Craig, and it's true. Aroldis Chapman is dominating.
It's not even close. He's the best closer in baseball by far right
With
now.
that said, he's pitched a lot recently, so why not let Gerrit Cole finish the job?
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to pitch today, but who the hell knows?
And that's a reason why Gerrit Cole could pitch the ninth.
And
You just said it. You just criticized Aaron Boone.
I
You
did
just
not
said
criticize Aaron
You did.
Boone.
You said, hey.
I was good with it.
If Cole finishes the job, I got Chapman available for game 3. Now you don't. Aroldis is not available. So thank you for making the point for me. Appreciate it.
I
pal.
am not criticizing Aaron Boone. The Yankees just keep on winning. The little engine that could keeps on keeping on. We'll get you taking all of it. 877-337-6666. There's another big thing brewing that's got me. Again, I'm positive Craigie these days, but I saw an announcement that when the Yankees go to Philadelphia, what's the exact date of that? Do you guys have that? It's
Saturday, June 12th.
Is it the 12th?
Yeah.
All right, so you're talking about just a month from now. It has been announced in Pennsylvania that 100% capacity. Okay, now, to me, there's no shock that they're picking the Yankee game for that because they have a good chance of selling the damn thing out. And I'm trying to figure out why everyone else is allowed to have 100% occupancy, but the Mets and Yankees can't. You know, I don't understand that.
I mean, you can answer it yourself. Think about who runs the place.
I'm trying to, we're all people.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Like, we're just people.
I know.
73,000 people at Cowboy Stadium for a fight last Saturday.
I know.
There's going to be 45,000 people for Yankees, Phillies, June 12th, whatever it is, coming up in Philadelphia. And the Mets and the Yankees are still putting this ridiculous spot of trying to have engineers come in to figure out how you can fit 10,000 people in the stadium.
Yep.
And then the Mets go, well, we know how to do it. We'll just give the vaccinated people the worst seats we got.